It wasn't just a bad call. It wasn't just a rotation. What happened during the final 23 seconds of the Browns versus Rams game was sabotage. A young quarterback had the game in his hands, helmet strapped, play called, ready to lead the 2-minute drill that could have locked in his spot. The stadium was roaring, momentum was his, and then suddenly, he was gone. Shedeur Sanders was pulled, without warning, yanked from the most important drive of his professional career, and replaced by a quarterback who hadn't done a thing to earn it. The reaction wasn't shock, it was outrage. Fans booed, players on the sideline were stunned, and within minutes, the internet exploded. Hashtag Free Shedeur, hashtag Stefanski Sabotage. And the question that everyone, inside the locker room and across the country, started asking: did the Browns just throw their own quarterback under the bus because he was too good? Because behind this sudden benching, there's something much deeper. A front office terrified by its own mistake, a coaching staff caught in the crossfire, and a team quietly unraveling under the weight of politics over performance. This isn't just a controversy, it's a full-blown revolt. Because what Shedeur Sanders did before that moment, what his teammates saw in practice, what fans saw on that field, prove one thing: he earned it. And that's exactly why they pulled him. Tonight, we're breaking down the moment that changed everything. From the game film to the locker room outrage, to why some believe the Browns didn't just disrespect a rookie, they might have sabotaged their entire season. Let's get into it. The Browns were up, the crowd was hyped, and Shedeur Sanders was having the kind of night players dream about. Calm in the pocket, precise with the ball, reading defenses like he'd been in the league for years. Then it happened. With just 23 seconds left on the clock, everything changed. Helmet on, play called, Shedeur stood at the sideline, ready to execute the most critical drive of the game. The kind of late-game opportunity that defines quarterback competitions. But instead of leading the team onto the field, he felt a hand on his shoulder. And just like that, he was out. Dillon Gabriel jogged onto the field while Sanders stood frozen, stunned. What followed wasn't confusion, it was rage. Fans inside the stadium erupted in boos. Not at the Rams, but at their own coaching staff. Players exchanged glances. Coaches looked visibly caught off guard. One veteran offensive lineman even muttered, loud enough for nearby staff to hear, "This is straight BS, and everyone knows it." And the reaction didn't stay in the stadium for long. Within minutes, social media turned into a war zone. The decision felt less like strategy and more like something personal. Because this wasn't just about the next man up. It was about stripping a player of his moment just when he had everything to gain. And the chaos that unfolded after showed how one decision can shatter all trust. And the moment Dillon Gabriel stepped onto the field, the collapse began. Let's drop the emotion for a second and just look at the numbers, because they say everything. In 3 quarters, Shedeur Sanders wasn't just good, he was nearly perfect. His completion percentage under pressure, a ridiculous 78%. On third downs, he converted 62% of them, one of the highest marks for any quarterback, rookie or not. Now compare that to what happened after he was pulled. Dillon Gabriel stepped in and went 2 for 7, with just 11 yards, no spark, and almost got picked off. His passer rating? A brutal 39.6. And the moment that switch was made, the offense collapsed around him. Fans didn't need a spreadsheet to spot the difference. They felt it in real time. The offense instantly lost tempo, the momentum drained, and the confidence faded. Every stat, every drive, every teammate response pointed toward one conclusion. Shedeur had earned that final possession, and the coaching staff knew it. But despite his dominance, despite his poise, despite every single metric telling the truth, they pulled him anyway. And that's when people stopped asking why and started asking who ordered it. Because in Cleveland that night, it became clear This had nothing to do with football anymore. What happened on the field was bad. What happened behind the scenes was even worse. According to multiple sources inside the Browns facility, the confusion wasn't just online. It exploded on the sideline and in the locker room. Position coaches were baffled. Offensive staff reportedly questioned the decision the second it happened. Some players thought it was a mistake, a headset miscommunication, until they saw Kevin Stefanski's face. It wasn't a mistake, it was a choice. Shedeur Sanders, he didn't lash out. He didn't throw his helmet. He just sat down, silent, focused, hurt, but composed. That silence hit differently. It wasn't defeat. It was a calculated kind of pain. And his teammates noticed. One veteran lineman was overheard saying, "This is straight trash, and it's political, not football." A defensive starter took it further. "We see everything in practice. Shedeur makes throws Gabriel can't even attempt." This wasn't about personal loyalty. It was about talent. It was about respect. Multiple players described the locker room as fractured after the game. Not over who should start, but over the why behind the decision. The division wasn't about skill. It was between players who believe in a merit-based team versus those who now realize the game might be rigged. When grown men, professionals, begin to question if performance still matters, that's not just locker room tension. That's the early warning sign of a full-blown mutiny. And it was just beginning. The moment Shedeur Sanders was benched, the stadium erupted. But the internet? It exploded. Within 15 minutes, the hashtag #FreeShedeur was trending nationwide. By halftime, it had over 2 million impressions. Fans weren't just debating the coaching decision, they were burning it to the ground. The timeline became a digital revolt. Side-by-side clips of Shedeur's clean touchdown drives. Gabriel's disaster series played on loop. Stats, breakdowns, body language analysis. Fans turned into film critics overnight. Even the Browns' official social media pages weren't safe. Every tweet, every Instagram post, ratioed. Hundreds of "Start Shedeur" replies flooded every update. Cleveland's promo team tried to post highlights of the win, but nobody cared about the score anymore. And it wasn't just fans. Former Browns QB Bernie Kosar tweeted, "What I saw tonight was criminal. That young man earned his moment, and they robbed him." Jim Brown's account posted just one word: shameful. National media outlets like ESPN and Fox Sports started shifting focus away from preseason results and toward the controversy in Cleveland. One headline said it best: "Is the Browns QB room based on merit or marketing?" The fire was out of control, and Cleveland couldn't contain it. Because this wasn't just about a quarterback getting benched, it was about a team getting exposed by its own fans. And the rebellion wasn't slowing down. It was just getting started. At first glance, it looked like bad coaching. But when you really step back and connect the dots, it smells like something else entirely. Sources inside the Browns facility revealed that ownership wanted Joe Flacco to start Week 1. Yes, 40-year-old Joe Flacco, a quarterback who hasn't thrown a meaningful pass in 2 years. Why? Because ownership values veteran stability. Even though Flacco's arm's not the same and his mobility vanished years ago. And then there's Dillon Gabriel, Cleveland's third-round investment, a young QB with potential, but raw. Management reportedly sees him as the project they want to develop the old-fashioned way. Now put that in context. Shedeur Sanders, a fifth-rounder from an unconventional background, shows up and starts outperforming both of them, not by a little, but by a mile, in practices, in scrimmages, on the tape. And that's the problem, because if Shedeur succeeds now, if he wins the starting job outright, he makes everybody upstairs look very, very wrong. Draft strategy? Wrong. Development plan? Wrong. QB evaluation philosophy? Wrecked. Sanders didn't just threaten Flacco or Gabriel. He threatened the entire front office's credibility. So rather than admit they missed, Cleveland made a choice. Protect the optics, not the team. Performance got buried. Politics won. And everyone saw it happen. Once the news spread, the impact didn't stay on the field. It hit every level of the Browns organization like a shockwave. Inside the locker room, tensions boiled over. Players weren't just confused, they were split. Not over who should start. Everyone knew the answer. The divide was over what to do. Stay quiet and play along, or stand up and say something. One veteran defensive player reportedly told teammates, "I'm not busting my body for a team that doesn't want to win." Meanwhile, fans took action. Season ticket holders bombarded the Browns' phone lines. A petition demanding Shedeur Sanders start by Week 1 crossed 100,000 signatures in 24 hours. Social media feeds lit up with new boycott hashtags. Local businesses began pulling Browns promo deals. Even sponsors reportedly raised concerns behind closed doors about fan alienation and brand risk. Make no mistake, this wasn't a loud minority. This was an organized response from a franchise's most loyal supporters finally reaching their breaking point. And it's not just about a quarterback anymore. It's about a team culture built on control, not competition. A franchise that keeps asking fans to believe in a process, while burying the one player who actually earned it. The Browns didn't just ignore the best QB on their roster. They tore apart their team and lit the fan base on fire in the process. What started as a bad substitution call has now become a full-blown revolution. Shedeur Sanders didn't rant, didn't lash out, didn't play into the chaos. He did the one thing this organization hates most. He kept showing up, and through silence, he gained power. Through poise, he earned respect. And through performance, he did something the front office didn't expect. He forced the truth into the spotlight. The locker room knows it, the fans know it. And now, thanks to the film, the stats, and the viral momentum, the entire football world knows it too. And that's the real danger to Cleveland's power brokers. Because if Shedeur wins, they lose control. If he gets the QB1 job, their narratives fall apart. Their draft board? Exposed. Their long-term plan? Shattered. Their grip on the team? Gone. So they did everything in their power to bury him. But it's not working, because you can pull a player from the field, but you can't pull the truth from the film. And you definitely can't stop a fan base that finally sees through the lies. The Browns may try to delay the inevitable, but this isn't just preseason noise anymore. This is a warning shot to every team burying talent for politics. The revolution has started, and they can't stop it now.